Good morning. It is currently 8:37 on a Sunday morning. The Criterium de Define is currently underway with some heavy hitters out there. Jonas Vingegaard, Tadej Pogacar, Remco Evenepoel, and Matthew Van Der Poel, I believe, are out there. But this is an equipment channel. We all know equipment makes you faster. It's not the rider, it's the equipment. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, Factor dropped out a prototype that looks like a crazy looking aero bike. It literally looks like a TT bike with just drop down handlebars on there. Now, I've heard rumors of this bike now for about a month or two now. Someone reached out to me on Instagram. We were kind of having a conversation. He's like, yo, blah, 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 blah. Check out this bike. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, that looks badass. And also he's like, blah, there's a collaboration with blah. So apparently this bike, similar to like how like BMC did Red Bull, apparently this bike has something more to do with it as well. But this is all allegations. But this bike looks absolutely wild. This, which I'm assuming might be a newest edition of their Factor 1. If you guys don't know, the Factor 1 was their aero bike and had that dual vane down to on here. Factor really didn't have a dedicated aero bike anymore. They're just pretty much running the Ostro Vam. So now it looks like a lot of companies are going back to a kind of do-it-all climbing lightweight bike, because a lot of these aero bikes are still coming in at 6.8 kgs. So now it looks like these companies are just really taking advantage of these massive head tube areas, massive bottom brackets, massive front forks, and maybe just making an aero bike that's 8-9 kgs. I mean, we saw Tade in the Tour of UAE, his Y1RS was weighing like 8 kgs. So I think that on these flat stages, they're throwing the weight out the window. They just want something that is going to perform with straight aerodynamics, and this looks like it. These front forks literally look like that TT bike, the Lotus, the track bike, that has those massive front aero fender fairings on there. I don't know what to think of that. It has a separated dual crown, or sorry, separated headset on here that literally looks like a TT bike, and then it should have aero bars in there. But that front fork is humongous. I don't know how that will operate in real world scenarios. I don't assume this would be a great crit bike. I don't know how it's going to turn, but it looks so steep. The front wheel looks really nice and tucked in there, but look at the flare on those front forks. I'm sure you could fit a 700 by 40C tire on there. But you can see here you have the separation of the headset on here, and then down here, huge head to on here, and then huge out front as well. Again, similar to what their Factor 1 was. Factor 1 aero bike. Okay. Boom. Bam. See, even here, this was similar. Headset, front fork, dual vane. So, but yeah, not only did they change out the front fork, obviously that catches your first initial reaction of it, but they have very similar to what everyone seems to be doing now, the S5, Scott foil, that kind of nice tucked in roundabout, and it seems to be proven that it is a very aerodynamic way to go. Very low seat stays, nice looking drop chain stays. It looks like a zero offset seat post, and also it seems like they're continuing this trend of a V-shaped handlebar. I remember when Sorello first launched their S5 with that V-shape fighter jet kind of handlebar. Now we see Bianchi doing it. Now we see the Y1RS doing it. Now we see a prototype by Factor doing it. So this is some pretty crazy looking stuff here on this bike. Damn, that's a massive. I mean, I can't imagine this bike being lightweight. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty crazy looking bike. It's unclear if this is really a bike for the common people. This definitely looks like it's more designed around the pros to get every kind of benefit out there. It looks like you're gonna have to be pushing some serious speed to get the aerodynamic benefits of this bike because of how bulky, chunky, and massive it is. So anyone doing that 21 miles an hour, I don't know if you'll see the returns that you're looking for. And I have to assume it's a heavier bike. I have to assume it's in the 17 pounds or the 8 kgs, kilograms. I have to. Also, in other news, being that this is the race before the Tour de France, where everything gets kind of launched or pre-launched during this this ride, Jonas Vingegaard was seen spotted riding the new what looks to be the S5. And again, I made tons of video on this thing. It looks like a big old fat head tube. I mean, again, look at these companies with these huge head tubes on these aero bikes. I really do think that Specialized needs to go ahead and make an aero bike, because it seems like these companies are just really taking the whole advantage out of these things. And they're really having, like I said, it doesn't need to be, it's no more climbing bike and aero bike. They're literally having a lightweight, like a Factor Astra Fan, that's literally an aerodynamic bike that's 6.8 kilograms, and still climbing and everything like that. And then they have just a dedicated aero bike that's just chunky as hell. That's great for flats and does what it's good at. But look at that head tube space. Look at that front fork. And this is a case for a lot of things. A lot of companies now are coming out saying that the front of the bike obviously takes the biggest impact in terms of aerodynamics. So you're seeing a lot of people focus on this big area and then making the rear end very skinny. Skinny seat stays, skinny chain stays, skinnier seat posts for compliancy on there. There's that front handlebar again. It's a one piece now. It's no more a two piece. That one piece is going to probably help lighten up that front load, or lighten up the load of the bike, to go ahead and reduce the weight on there as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this bike. I don't know what to think of it, because Lotus Track bike. You know, like this, like looks like, it looks like those front forks in there. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of it. I love the look of it. I love the engineering of it. I love the deep head tube of it. I just don't know how much real world usage that'd be. Like, if that bike's out there and the new S5's out there, it also becomes the choice for the consumer who's spending their hard-earned money. Aesthetically, I don't like the look of it, because that front fork just looks crazy and it looks super steep. Maybe if it was raked out a little bit more, but like this against the S5, I think that I would choose the S5. And again, I don't know how that front fork is going to handle. In terms of maybe cornering, I'm not crit racing at all. I'm just riding straight up and down A1A. It might be a great bike for what I'm doing for it. But again, I want something aesthetically pleasing. Now, this is the first launch of it. This is the first time we've seen it in a real light. It's all black. Maybe if they slap a different paint job on there, who knows? It could be a little bit different. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Are you guys here for it? What do you guys think it is? Do you guys think it's a new Factor 1? Or do you think it's a completely different bike as is? But I definitely think that they're pushing the mold over there. And who is next in the bicycle industry to push a Y handlebar, a V handlebar, a Venge handlebar? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.